What's up, y'all? Let's get busy. Gotta get busy. Oh yeah, what's up? Let's get into it. All right. All right. I know the people on YouTube can't hear it. I know the people on YouTube cannot hear it, but that was Jill Scott's Little Crown Royal on Ice. Uh-oh. Jessica said my mic's not working well. It does say, okay, first off, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hear me? Yes, no. Am I staticky? Tell me what the connection is like because I need to know what the connection is like. Can you hear me? So TikTok says yes. All right, Instagram, can you hear me? Yes. All right, good. Hey, Kim. Hey, Kim, what's good? All right, can y'all hear me? All right. We can hear you. It was sticky at first. All right. Welcome to the Doctor Live, aka Coach Ken. All right, the doctor is in the building tonight. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it. I need you, first of all, TikTok, y'all gotta get me up to 1,500 likes, hearts, because TikTok says if you get enough likes, we will share your stuff. So I need y'all to just get your finger, get a little exercise on your thumb, and we're gonna get busy here in a second. All right, y'all. So I thought about doing something tonight. I think I'm gonna do this on Friday nights. I'm gonna do a question and answer session. Question and answer session, like any questions you have, bring them to the table. All right, we'll do that Friday night after Thanksgiving. We'll do it Friday night. But tonight, I gotta do something different. I got something good, y'all. All right, give me some likes on TikTok. Give me some likes. Give me some likes. Give me some likes. Get the thumb involved. All right, give me some likes. So here's what we got, y'all. We got something going. All right, tonight, I get high. By the way, before I get started, we're almost at capacity for my Communicating Your Needs Masterclass. Yo, we're almost there. Everybody I've talked to, pretty much 85% of them have signed up for the class. If you know, the class don't start till the 4th of December, but I didn't know we would fill it up this quick. I guess, y'all, because if you think about it, people really need, your life would change if you know how to communicate better. And I'm going to talk about that tonight, but I'm going to talk about it in a different way. Ooh, I'm going to talk about it in a different way tonight. So get me up to 1,500 likes, TikTok. All right. So, y'all, I appreciate y'all joining me tonight because you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with the doctor, a.k.a. Coach Ken, and you can be anywhere. So look, you're here with me. But before we go on, I must acknowledge you. So I will say this. Tell me, number one, your name and where you're checking in from. Your name and where you're checking in from. All right. I'm going to let you know how you sign up for the class. It's almost full. We only have 6 spots left. You got to stay tuned. Remember, everyone that signs up for the class has to meet with me personally to do a Zoom because I need to see you. I need to look in your eyes and make sure that you're ready. Everybody not ready. All right, let's go. Donna from Philadelphia in the building. Ty from Durham in the building. Thank you so much. I got my girl Nice from New York City. Kim Lithonia. Kim is my dear friend. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tiffany from Massachusetts in the building. Trish from Virginia. What's that? Roth from Kuwait. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Teresa from Lawrenceville, Virginia. Beverly from New York City. Terry Jackson from San Antonio, Texas in the building. All right, we got Stephanie McDaniel from North Kakalaki, Lanita from Charlotte, North Kakalaki, my neck of the woods, Mocha Latte from Birmingham, Alabama, in the building, y'all. Whoa, who we got from Arizona? Tell me your name. Jamila live from Philly. Philly won a good one last night. No, that was a good game. Philly ready. Hey, we got Cynthia from St. Pete, Florida. Suki from California in the building. All right, D from New Jersey in the building. Angel Love from Philly in the building. Bree from the Bronx. Sunshine, Las Vegas. All right. Hey, Nana. Hey, that's my friend there. It's my coach's mom. How are you? Good to see you in the building. All right. Nikki from Arkansas. Building. Thank you. Frenchette, my student. I love Frenchette from Missouri in the building, y'all. We're going to make this work tonight. All right. We got Nay from Philly. We got them all over the globe, y'all. Thank you for joining me. We got 200 of y'all on right now from different platforms. Y'all can't see each other, but I can see all of y'all. All right. So tonight, Angela Smith from Coolidge, Arizona in the building. Came from Memphis. My girl, Victoria, Dr. Chandler. One of my students, y'all. All right, one of my students, Victoria, I told you what was going to happen. I told you. And y'all, she's one of my students who is experiencing so much success, y'all. She came to me about a year ago, and I don't know if she wants me to tell this story, but I ain't going to tell all her business, but I am going to say this because I'm proud of her. Here's the deal. She came to me about a year ago, y'all. You know, things wasn't all the way right, but I told her one of her dreams was to be a doctor. And what I tell people is, what I say to people is, what we waiting on. What we waiting on. And I said, this is what we're going to do. All right, let me get my speaker together. I told her, I said, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to wait any longer. She said, yes. I said, this is what we're going to do. We are going to, because a lot of times this leads right into what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the stories we tell ourselves tonight. The stories we tell ourselves. And so Victoria, smart lady. She was a nurse, is a nurse, but she always had a desire to be a doctor. So when she met the doctor, AKA Coach Canion, I said, what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Let's do it today. Let's do it now. And so I imagine that shocked her because she told herself a story about some things that were going on in her life that maybe would not be conducive to her being a doctor or going to medical school. But I said, no. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it afraid. We're going to take these obstacles and we're going to either jump over them, go around them, or go through them. And guess what, y'all? She in medical school today. Ooh, I'm so proud of her. And y'all, I will tell you this. Every one of you has the same ability to get what you want, to have what you want. Y'all, it is not, we look at life. Oh, before I get into it, Coach, just jump into the lesson tonight. All right, I'm going to jump into the lesson tonight because that's a great segue into what I'm going to talk about. I am going to talk about, y'all, the stories that we tell ourselves and how the stories we tell ourselves prevent us from having that which we want in life. And so I'm going to put a little science to it. Y'all know you're so welcome, Victoria. Thank you. Thank you for being just a wonderful student you are. And thank you for believing in Coach. And thank you for just trusting that what Coach told you was the right thing for you, even though it may have been uncomfortable. Y'all. All right, y'all. Give me some more likes on TikTok. I'm up to 3,000. Let's get up to 5,000. And so tonight, I'm going to talk about the stories we tell ourselves. All right. And because what happens is, y'all, there is a science to you. And so what we want to do is I'm going to put some science to it. All right. So I want to start with one of my clients. One of my clients said something to me recently, and she was talking about how her relationship wasn't working. And she was saying, so her person that she was in a relationship with, they weren't working out. Things weren't going good. And she began, because they were not communicating effectively. And she began to talk about, since they weren't communicating, she began to talk about in her head, she was saying what was wrong with him. She was suggesting in her mind, that he was seeing someone else, that he was cheating, that he no longer loved her, and that he was pulling away from her because she had gained weight. And so she created this narrative in her head. And so when she was creating the narrative in her head about why the relationship was not working, this narrative she created, this story she began to tell herself, started to take hold in her subconscious mind. And so when the story started taking hold in her subconscious mind, she began to react to the story. She began to react to the story in her mind. She began to start looking at his phone. And the only thing she had to go on, I said, well, tell me, did you see anything? She says, no, he's just not communicating with me. And so she created this story. And so I began to talk to her about communicating. I said, have you communicated with him? She said, no. And someone just wrote it. She manifested this in her mind. And then when it started in her mind, it became a thing. It became tangible to her. It became true. It became a belief. Okay, I told you yesterday, I explained to y'all yesterday that a belief is a statement or a thought that you have accepted as true and factual. A belief, again, is a statement or a thought that you have accepted as true or a fact. Now, it had become a belief to her. She had manifested this thought based on his behavior. Now, she never communicated with him what's changed. She never explored through communication why his behavior had done that. All right? She had never done that. And so she created a story in her head. Now, what happened was this story that she created took her down a rabbit hole where she began to check his phone logs. She began showing up at his workplace. She began having restless nights of sleep, checking his phone when he was asleep. It took hold of her because she was telling herself this story. Well, when I got a hold of her, I began to tell her how to communicate what she was feeling, how to find out the things that she was feeling, how to navigate this through communication. I told her what to say, how to say it, what to do, how to do it. Next thing I know, she finally mustered up the courage to do it, right? She found out that the reason he had pulled away was because he was reminded it had been close to a year or 2 years when his mother passed. And he was trying to navigate the grief and the sadness of his mother dying. And so he did not know how to communicate either well. So he did not know how to express it. And then she felt bad about everything she had done because he found out that she had been doing this. And he simply said, "Is that what you think of me?" And what could she say? But That's the story I created in my mind. Okay? And so what I tell you today is I'm going to put some science behind it. Now, there is a thing called the narrative fallacy. The narrative fallacy, and what it simply is we begin navigating. Let me give you a story of how the narrative fallacy works. Something like this, where you create analysis, where it works something like this. Imagine you got these children in a house, okay? You're trying to get 3 or 4 children ready for school, all right? And then you go out of the room, you're drinking a cup of coffee. All of a sudden, the cup of coffee, when you get back, the cup of coffee is turned over. And you see a cup of coffee turned over, and you see a stain, a beige or a dark colored stain on the carpet, all right? And so without even thinking about it, realizing it, whatever, you link A to B. The coffee fell. I link that to B. 2 separate facts. There's a stain. There is coffee. 2 separate facts. And then what you do is you link them together. This is called the narrative fallacy, where you take 2 separate facts and you begin linking them together. For instance, a fact is that he's not communicating. Fact. All right. And then we're not having sex. Facts. I link them together and then I create the story based on that. Well, now he's not wanting me because I've gained weight. All right. I create this narrative in my head. Now I look at 2 facts and I bring them together. We do it all of the time. How many times do you bring 2 separate things together, 2 separate facts together, and you create a narrative that says something? For instance, you're dating someone. All of a sudden, the guy or the female, let's talk about the guy first. The guy doesn't call you back. You text him. You text him twice. He hasn't returned the call, and you have an anxious attachment style. He has not called you back in 30 minutes. That's a fact. All right, fact. And then he didn't call you 3 times a day like he normally does. That's a fact. And so 2 facts, you have put them together, and what do you say? Wow, he ain't interested in me. Wow, he's seeing someone else. And we create these narratives. Now, those 2 things are fact. Those 2 things are fact. However, it is when we put them together, we fuse them together to create the story that's in our head. How many of you who are listening to me have created stories about your life, about yourself, about your relationship, about anything based on 2 separate things or 3 separate things? And so where am I going with this, coach? I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, somebody says that's my whole day today. Okay, so watch this. What if, and the reason we do that many times, y'all, is because we are unwilling to communicate about the things that we're thinking. Now, I know in psychology, it helps people to deduce things from that. I know that. I know that. And they talk about some of that is natural and some of it is good because it is our evolution. And they have a name for it that we call them ingrained patterns that we've created that actually help us come to conclusions. The problem is those very things help us misjudge character, events, things in our lives that do not serve us. They do not serve us. Because so what they say is things like this. Where it does serve us is things like, all right, you're outside. You hear some rustling in the grass and you think a predator may not be out there. So you deduce, rustling in grass. I hear it. I don't see it. But that noise, bring that together. I believe there's a predator out there and I run. And I get that. That's ingrained in us. So here's the thing. So this is where I'm getting to, y'all. I want to say this. How many times do we create stories about relationships? How many times do we create things? One guy, what happens is a guy doesn't call you back, or a lady does a particular thing, and we create stories based on things that are unrelated. We create stories because the person didn't open my door. You create a story based on how the relationship is going to be, but you don't communicate to find out that was never a thing with me in my past relationships. And I don't know that you need that thing. I didn't know that you needed it. I didn't know it was a part of it. We don't communicate. We would rather create it in our heads. Now, let me go a step further. What happens? There's a thing called sensory deprivation. So here's how this works, y'all. And I want everybody to listen to me real quickly. When you think about it like this, have you ever gone to the doctor and the doctor says this? The doctor says, hey, we're going to run this serious test on you. All right. And we're going to give you the results on Friday at 3:00. Here it is Tuesday. By Friday, we're going to give you the results. So Thursday comes and goes. Friday, you still haven't heard from them. Friday at 1:00, they haven't called you. Friday at 2:00, they haven't called you. Friday at 3:00, they still have not called you. What is your brain doing by Friday at 4:00, 5:00? Your brain is creating all kinds of scenarios. Oh, Lord, I got this disease. Oh, Lord, I got this. This is what's wrong with me. Why is that important? Because whenever your brain does not get the sensory stimuli that it needs, it creates it. Whenever you don't know what's going on, the brain creates the narrative. Now the brain says, hey, dude, I believe you got cancer, man. Hey, dude, I believe your lungs are failing. Hey, dude, your kidneys are failing. Hey, dude, you got all of this. And all of a sudden you call them on Monday, and what do they say? Hey, you know what? The truth is, oh, we forgot to call you. We left early. You're good to go. And all of the weekend, the whole weekend, what did you do? You told yourself a story that wasn't based in fact. But what you did is you took the facts that they didn't call, that nobody let you know. You took the facts and you created the narrative. But the narrative you created were not based in fact. All right? Now, here is what you do. Why is this important? Because many of us, y'all, have created narratives about our life. We've created narratives about other people. We've created narratives about men or about women. Men have created narratives about women that are not based in fact. It may be based it may be because your experience was that. But you create a blanket statement, a general narrative about all women that is not true. Women do the same thing about men. And so why is this important, y'all? But instead of communicating, instead of getting good at communicating your thoughts, we just rather create the thought. We would rather create the narrative in our heads. That's why I was talking about earlier this thing called the narrative fallacy, because the narrative we create is a fallacy many times, and it's not based in fact. So we take the facts to create the narrative. How many of y'all have created narratives about relationships, about you, about your relationships, about what you couldn't have because of whatever? Because the fact is, I'm 60 years old. I mean, you might say, I'm 60 years old and I'm not in a relationship, so I won't get a relationship. You took two facts. I'm 60 years old. I'm not in a relationship. And you created the fact that I've never been in a relationship. But that's not a fact. That's a fallacy if you want it to be. And see, what I tell people is you can create your future. Y'all, you don't have to live in the story you're currently telling yourself. There are some of you out there who want to change the narrative, who want to change the story, who want to change it, and you have the ability to change it. You have the ability to heal from what you've experienced in the past, the trauma, the toxicity. Yes, You have the lens of the past. Yes, you can't unsee what you've seen. Yes, you cannot experience what you've experienced. And yes, you cannot unhear what you've heard. But what you can do, you can change the meaning of it. Ooh! Let me tell you something. I know the person cheated on you. I know the person did you wrong, abused you emotionally. I know physically, mentally. I know that. We cannot change that. I know they hurt you, but you know what you can do? You know what you do have the power to do? You have the power to change the meaning. Let me tell you something. There's a book on this bookshelf behind here called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor. And what he said was, all the people around me were dying. And he said, my captors, at first I hated them. And he said they were killing people. And he said one day he thought to himself, what is the meaning of this? What if I decided to change the meaning of what I've been through? Y'all, what if I decided? And then what he decided to do, he said there was a greater purpose for what I've been through. He said the truth is, the purpose is much greater than that. And he said, now the meaning by which I attached to what I went through changed. He said, I'm able to forgive my captors. I'm able to forgive them. And he went on to touch the world, millions of people with this book, because all he said was, I changed the meaning, y'all. And if you're willing, like with the help of people like me, you're willing to communicate, to change your language to others, to change your language to yourself. If you're willing to communicate in a way that helps you change the narrative, change the meaning that you've had of the things that have happened to you, you can change your life. I remember, y'all, years ago, I went bankrupt. And I remember I was depressed. I was in all these big magazines. I started this business with all of these guys, and I was this whiz kid. And I'll never forget it. And I never forget it when things went south and I went bankrupt and the bank took everything that I had. I remember I sat in my room and I was like, God, how could you bring me here? I thought I did everything right. But then after about 3 weeks, y'all, something came to me. I can't say what it was because I was in a place where I wasn't feeling very good. But what came to me was this. There is a greater meaning for what you went through. And I thought about it. And at about a 4th week of being at home, curtains, I was depressed. Then I said, what if? And in my new class, my communication class, I'm going to teach y'all how to say, what if? And what you're going to do is I'm going to show you how to challenge your own thoughts. I said, what if what I went through had a greater meaning? That's when I was introduced to Viktor Frankl. And then I said, now I'm going to teach people. And all of a sudden my world opened up, my mind opened up. I said, you know what? This thing happened so that I could do something else. Do you know, as a result of that, I began writing books. I wrote my first book to tell people about my thing. Ever since I've written 8 books since then. I sold close to 500,000 books. And it's because of that event that I'm here today. Y'all, it's because of that event that I'm here today. That event is the thing that catapulted me. All right, that catapulted me to doing what I do today. And so had it not happened, I wouldn't be sitting before you today. And so what I say is this: if you are ready to change the meaning of the things that have happened to you, if you are ready to change the way you view it, if you are ready to do all of that, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. Listen, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to do something different if you want something different. Most people aren't willing to do something different. I know that. This message ain't for everybody. It's for some people. I get it. Some people ain't gonna get it. Some people click off because they want salacious shit like 10 ways to find out if your man is cheating. Yeah, there's a way. I used to do videos like that all the time. I get it, but and there's some power in that. Or 3 ways to know your woman is cheating or doesn't want you. I get that. But now I'm on another level, y'all. I'm beyond that right now. And I'm not talking about all that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm talking about empowering people on a whole nother level. I don't give a shit about followers. I care about transformation. I care about people's lives change. If 10 people listen to me, I'm going to go hard, just like if it's 10,000. I'm going to go hard. You know why I'm going to go hard? Because when I go hard like that, because I'm not looking at y'all. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at God, and God says, listen, this is your mandate. This is what you have to do. The thing, you got to change people's lives. So I really don't care about what people think. I don't give a shit. All right. I told God, yes, I cuss sometimes, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be me, and I'm going to change people's lives. So if you want your life changed, then keep listening to me. But if you want somebody to talk about how fucked up men are or how fucked up women are, I ain't your guy. I'm not your guy. We all got to level up. I'm not trying to get more followers. I got 1.2 million followers, and that don't mean shit. Let me tell you what means something. The life that I saved, helped save yesterday. That one life, that's what means something. And that's all I'm about. And so anybody out here, and all these other wannabe so-called relationship coaches, I don't give a shit about them. I'm just being real with y'all. I'm just talking to y'all like I would talk to my wife. All right? Because I'm telling her, this is coming straight from my heart. I know what my mandate is at the end of the day. So here's what I'm on. If anybody's interested in my class, I got a class called Communicating Your Needs. I got 6 spots left. If you are interested in coming to this class, this is going to be a master class, 5 days. I'm going to teach you how to stop creating stories and how to communicate what's in your mind. How to communicate to make your relationship better. How to communicate when you're dating. How to communicate with your mama. How to communicate with your sister. How to communicate with your uncles and aunts, the ones that the relationship is frayed. How to restore all of that. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, then I want you to email me and say, Coach, I want to set up a time with you. Yeah, at kencanion@gmail.com. Coach, I want to set up, and I will give you 30 minutes of my time so to see if this class is for you. I got 6 spots left. If anybody wants the 6 spots, email me at Coach Ken, KenCanion @gmail.com. Period. That's all it is. It starts on December 4th to December 8th. 5 days of intense training. I'm not playing. If anybody wants that, then you get it. If you don't want that, then just keep listening at night. I don't care. One day, I'm going to say something that's going to get you to a point where you're going to say, I got to change. I got to change now. I got to change. Until then, I'm going to still keep giving you these nuggets. I'm going to still keep giving you these nuggets because one day you're going to need it. One day you're going to need me. But until then, keep listening. But if you're ready, and say you want to book a session with me, I'm booked. Y'all, I'm so booked up for the next 3 days. I'm even going to book and talk to people on Thanksgiving. That's where I'm at. I'm still going to eat now. I'm still going to eat. I'm just saying. I'm still going to eat. All right, y'all. I know I ain't got no sense. But look, y'all, I'm out. All right. Email me at Coach Ken, KenCanion @gmail.com. If you want me to, let's talk about the communication class, communicating to get your needs met. All right, 5-day master class. It's going to be intense, and we're going to do what we call the hot seat coach method, where we're going to learn quick. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to trigger some of y'all when we get in there because I'm going to get you out your comfort zone. All right, that's my time. I'm out. Peace.